We're gonna do it. We're gonna learn it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna learn it. I can't believe it. We're learning the thing. What's the thing? Ah! We're gonna learn it. We're gonna learn it. It's gonna happen. Just keep watching. Trust me. Trust me, Lorenzo. It's gonna happen. It's a beautiful day to learn a thing. It's a beautiful day to learn. When you learn something you're not learning. I mean, you are learning, but you know, learning's good. Without learning, you'd be nothing. Facts. Today on Learn It, I'm going to teach you two things. I'm going to teach you about this Victor Victrola. Yeah, beautiful machine. And I'm going to teach you about small model steam engines and how to run them. See that? That's a beauty right there. Electric. Not all of them are electric, but we'll get to that. Okay, so this is the Victor IV. This is a phonograph built around 1924, I believe. That's what we found out when researching the serial number. Please note, the following only applies to Victors and similar phonographs. There is a wide variety of music machines, and I encourage you to do your own research into the world of music boxes. Number on the side. This machine was manufactured by the Victor Talking Machine Company. So what your machine will have is a brake lever, speed control, and volume doors. This machine plays 78s, not LPs, because you destroy them, which a lot of movies and shows don't understand. I've seen many shows just put a normal LP on it and just play it. That's not how physics work. So I'll be playing Old-Fashioned Love for you. Just put that on the spindle, and depending on your needle, on its thickness, if you get a thicker needle, it will play louder. If you get a smaller needle, it will play quieter. So I'm going to put a nice loud needle in there to wake up the neighbors. I'm not sure how old this one is, but I know some manufacturers change their labels every once in a while, so you'll be able to date them. When you wind it up, you want to make sure that you don't wind it up too much, because then you'll destroy the spring inside, which I'll show you later. So I'm going to release the brake, and I'm going to drop this down. Not all records have the groove that catches it and puts it in, so you have to put it on the groove itself. As I zoom in right here, you'll be able to see how it tracks through the groove. And that's why they had to make these records out of a very strong material, mostly shellac, because they had to withstand all the pressure being put on one single point. And that's why they decided to design it to wear out the needle instead of the record. Okay, so now I'm going to show you the inside to show you how the inner workings of the machine are. I'll just take this platter off by gently pulling it up. Place this aside. You'll be able to see how the brake works, how it presses against the inside of the platter when it's put into the on position. We'll have to take this crank out by reverse cranking it so that we can unscrew. Put that to the side. And now we're going to see the inner workings of it. You can see here, this is the container that holds the spring which I put my energy in through the crank, winding the spring through the gears, then it being attached to the spindle right here. The spindle is then intercepted by a governor, and the governor regulates the speed. If I were to get a screwdriver and take this out, this would fly out of control, spurting grease all over the room. And that is not a very pretty sight, which I've accidentally done. It was awful. Got on my mouth. I'm not joking, Lorenzo. I had to re-grease this one because, you know, over like close to 100 years, the grease inside basically becomes useless. And removing a spring barrel is kind of scary because it is a very large spring packed into a small container. And if you do it without any really notion of what's going on in there, it can fly out and basically slice you up. Hello, welcome to the second part of the show where I'm going to teach you how to operate one of these beautiful live steam engines. This is a small collection that I've been working on. Most of them are produced by the Jensen Company in Pennsylvania. It's hard to date when these steam engines are made because a lot of them are still made today. Small steam engines have been around for a long time. It's kind of hard to date where the concept really came from. I know there's some where I think there was a little toy made for some like Chinese emperor or something. Don't quote me on that. I have one that's not here on the table because it's out at the shop, but that was probably made from the 1920s to 30s. It's a beautiful piece. It's got a big cast iron base, made in Los Angeles, which not that many of them are still made. There's very few companies still producing these small steam engines, mostly in Germany and there's one company in the United States. So what you're gonna need to use one of these machines is fuel, lubrication, and something to light it with. Most fuel that you'll see online is these little wax cubes, but I don't like using them because they get a lot of black like soot on the boiler. Meanwhile, this gel fuel burns very clean and hot. So I'm gonna... Oh crap! I'm gonna muscle open a can. Be careful with this gel because I don't want to set myself on fire. You know, classic standards. Be careful. I'm just gonna scoop a little bit of this into here. I'm not sure if this engine is going to run correctly. I've been having some trouble trying to run this big model. It's been kind of testy with me because for some reason it's been leaking pressure, which you know is never good if you want to run a steam engine. So I'm going to come around front, load in the tray. We'll get a match. You got to be careful with this gel fuel too, because unlike the wax cubes, the fuel's fire is very invisible to the human eye during daylight. Let me get this stick to poke it in. And we'll just wait for that to heat up. I'm also going to plug in this electric one because I know this one will work. So the common theme I've seen on these steam engines is that they all have a pressure relief valve, so that if pressure gets too strong, it will open up and release steam. Most of the time they come with a whistle, but if they don't, that's fine. Yeah. Okay, so we're back. This kind of became a disaster. The steam engines actually decided to break some of their gaskets. This one, as you can tell, is leaking water into the fuel pan, which is obviously where you don't want water to go. This one's gasket broke off and continued to leak enough pressure so that it wasn't able to spin up. And that's not very good if you want to use a steam engine, so always make sure you got good gaskets with these. These two models are very similar where they have, let's say this was running, you would be able to control how fast it was going. And this one allows you to change the motion of it to go backwards or forwards, the wheel. So the only steam engine we do have running is the electric one, which is raring and ready to go. So I'm going to show you this one, because I can still show you some things you need to do to make sure that your engine has a long life and continues to provide entertainment for years to come. You got to make sure you have a bottle of oil. I like to use 3-in-1 oil. It's just it's just a good oil for rust prevention and lubrication of the gears. Okay, let's spin this off. This one's kind of scary. We had to clamp it down because it will vibrate like crazy. Come on, zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna add oil to it, and this is probably gonna splatter, so go back on yourself. Stop standing away. I know you're scared of this one, but this one's fun. You want to make sure that you oil all the joints that are having a lot of movement, so that the engine doesn't burn itself out and seize up the motor. Also, you want to make sure that this is also just for fun, you can ring the whistle to relieve pressure. And like I was saying with the other ones where you control the speed, I can kind of do the same with my thumb. I don't know. Well, I guess that's it for Learned It. I don't remember the name of the show. This took too long.